So we're gonna go ahead and cut this in the middle. There we go. And now we're gonna go ahead and strip this. This is how this tool works. It has this stop so you can measure how much of it you want to strip. You could do several cables at a time, but I'll just do one. Go in there. Now I like to hold this one a little bit down, sometimes slips. And when you go like this, there you go, easy way. Now we gotta do the same for all of them. There you go. Okay. My house is kind of weird. You're hearing birds chirping followed by airplanes. I live by an airport, so when they open up a certain runway, we get planes overhead, which I didn't know when I purchased this house we were gonna get plane traffic during certain times of the day, but it's a part of life. So here we go. This is all done. Now the next step is that the way I've been doing it is that this set of wires is coming from the amp this way. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna crimp these two with the butt connectors first. Now the easiest way to do it is to get this crimper, a ratcheting crimper. Now this one has 1, 2, 3. Sometimes they're color coded with the color of this, but I know that number 1 is the smallest one, which is red butt connector. Number 2 is the mid-size, which is the blue butt connector, and number 3 is the yellow, which is the largest one. So we want to go ahead and just line this up, the teeth. So you want to line up the teeth right there, and then we want to get, let's see, make sure I get the right side here. Yep, it's these two. You want to get one of these, put it in there. It's in there. Now the insulation is not inside where the metal gets crimped. It's only the bare wire that's going to get crimped, okay? So make sure you don't stick the wire. So we're going to go ahead in there. We're pressed, let go, and we're all done. It's a nice crimp. It's not overly done where you break the jacket, because I used to have a cheap one. I think that many people have. It's a wire strip. It's a combination of wire stripper, crimper. It does everything. But when you crimp on that, sometimes it breaks through the protective jacket. And you don't want that because you want to avoid water getting in here. I'm gonna do the other cables and we'll resume. Okay, now we're gonna do the other side. If you notice here, we have 2 speaker wires. One is going to the actual speaker and the other one's gonna go to the next speaker. So let's go ahead and grab this. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and insert it in here. Okay, it's in there. We crimped it down. And when you crimp stuff down, you always want to give it a tug. Make sure it's not gonna come apart. If you're able to take it apart while it's crimped like this, then it's not gonna hold. You didn't get a good crimp. At that point, you would cut this and start over again. If they both pull out, then you don't have to cut it. You could just get a new butt connector. So always make sure that you tug on the wires. So we're gonna do the black pair right here, and then we'll go to the next step. Okay, next up, we're gonna use this heat gun. I have another one which actually stands, it looks like a gun, but this one I like when I need to hold it in my hand, a lot easier to hold, and I don't have to press the trigger, it stays on. So let's go ahead. Gets really hot. Okay, just be careful, it's really hot, still warm. Now if you ask yourself, why did it take me so long? Number one, that's not a full-size gun, so it doesn't blow out as much heat as my other gun does, but it is very portable. And what you want to look for, if you notice here, when this shrinks and the glue melts that's in here, you'll see the glue start sticking to the wire. And you see this turn from like a translucent, like it's not sticking, to, and it gets a little darker. It's kind of hard to describe. Now, the reason that's getting darker is because the glue is sticking to the wire. And then you'll see it comes out on top, the glue. Once you see that glue outside, surrounding here, right there, you can see that glue. Once that glue starts coming out, you know you did a good job there. Now the next step is to put some hot glue here. Even though this is also heat shrunk with adhesive, I always like to put a little bit, just a hot glue all over here, just to verify that it's not going to go in between the cable. Because although there is glue all over around the perimeter of the cable, it's hard for it to get in there. So applying a little bit of hot glue will just help that, prevent it from getting any water ingression in there. So we're just gonna get some hot glue, and we're just gonna, doesn't have to look pretty because no one's gonna see it. You want to make sure that you get it all the way around. Let's get it on this side. Yep, you want to make sure you get it all the way around the cable and the butt connector. Just make sure you get it all the way around. This is just adding another layer of protection. Now we don't have to hot glue this side because we can tell that the glue has surrounded the whole wire, the insulation fully covered. So we're gonna go ahead and do the other side.